Penelope stared at the silver tray that had just been wheeled into her suite, her fingers trembling as she lifted the dome to reveal not just the lobster bisque she'd ordered, but a small envelope tucked beside it. Inside was a handwritten note. "I know your secret. Meet me in the lobby at midnight, or everyone finds out." Her heart pounded as she crumpled the paper, the weight of her carefully guarded life crashing down. Layla, the room service attendant who'd been flirting with her for weeks, had somehow uncovered the truth about her hidden sexuality. The clock on the wall ticked mercilessly toward 11, and Penelope paced the marble floors of her penthouse, her mind a whirlwind of denial and dread. How could this happen? She was Penelope Hargrove, CEO of Hargrove Enterprises, a woman who'd built an empire from nothing, married to a prominent senator for 25 years, mother to 2 ambitious daughters climbing the social ladder. Coming out now would destroy everything. The boardroom whispers, the family dinners turned interrogations, the society galas where she'd be reduced to a scandal. But Layla, that young woman with her piercing green eyes and effortless confidence, had awakened something Penelope thought she'd buried forever. Was it worth the risk? The thought gnawed at her. One meeting just to silence whatever Layla knew, and then back to normal. Yet deep down, she knew this wasn't about blackmail. It was about the pull she'd felt every time Layla's hand brushed hers during deliveries, the stolen glances that made her feel alive after years of numbness. Midnight arrived like a thief, and Penelope descended in the elevator, her designer coat wrapped tightly around her as if it could shield her from the storm brewing inside. The lobby was dimly lit, a few late-night guests milling about, but there she was, Layla, leaning against a pillar in her uniform, her dark hair cascading over one shoulder. "You came," Layla said softly, her voice carrying a mix of triumph and vulnerability. Penelope's throat tightened. "What do you want?" "Money. I'll pay whatever it takes to make this go away." Layla's eyes flashed with hurt. "You think this is about money?" "Penelope, I've seen the way you look at me. I know because I feel it too. But your world, it's built on lies. Your husband's political campaigns, your daughter's engagements to suitable men. It's all a facade." Penelope stepped back, her mind reeling. How did Layla know so much? Had she been digging into her life? The accusation burned. "You're invading my privacy. This isn't love, it's obsession." But even as she spoke, doubt crept in. Her marriage to Edward was a partnership of convenience. Passion long faded into routine, and her daughters Emily and Sophia idolized her as the perfect matriarch. Coming clean would shatter their illusions. They moved to a quiet corner booth in the hotel bar, the bartender discreetly serving them drinks without a word. Layla leaned in, her voice low and intense. "I didn't mean to pry. It started when I delivered to your suite last month. You were on a call, arguing with your husband about some fundraiser. I overheard. And then I saw the photo on your desk, you with a woman from college, the way you looked at her. It reminded me of my own story." Penelope's pulse quickened. "Your story? What makes you think you understand mine?" Layla sighed, her fingers tracing the rim of her glass. "I came out at 18. My parents disowned me, conservative folks from a small town in Texas. I moved to New York, waited tables, built a life. But you're trapped in a golden cage. I wrote that note because I couldn't stand watching you suffer in silence." The words hit like a punch. Penelope thought of her own youth, the college fling with Rebecca that she dismissed as a phase, marrying Edward to please her dying father, inheriting the family business. Was this suffering? Or just the price of success? "You don't know what you're asking," she whispered. "My family would fall apart. Edward's career. He's up for re-election. And my daughters. They'd never forgive me." As the conversation deepened, Layla shared more. Her struggles with rejection, the therapy sessions to heal from familial betrayal, the small victories in finding a community. Penelope listened, envy twisting in her gut. Why couldn't she have that freedom? But then the guilt surged. Her daughters relied on her stability, Edward on her support. Revealing her attraction to women would label her a hypocrite, especially after years of attending anti-LGBT fundraisers to align with Edward's donors. "I've made choices," Penelope admitted inwardly. "Choices that protected everyone but me." Layla reached across the table, her hand hovering near Penelope's. "Choices can change. But only if you're brave enough." The touch never came, but the electricity was there. sparking a fire Penelope had long extinguished. By 2 a.m. they parted with a promise to meet again. Penelope's mind screamed danger, yet her heart whispered possibility. Back in her suite she lay awake, replaying every word. Was this the beginning of liberation or the end of everything she knew? The next morning reality intruded like a cold shower. Edward called from D.C., his voice clipped. "Pen the gala tonight. Make sure Emily brings that banker boyfriend. We need his family's endorsement." Penelope murmured agreement, her stomach churning. How could she face her family now, with Layla's words echoing? She decided to ignore it, bury the encounter. But Layla texted, "Think about what you really want." The message haunted her through board meetings, where she snapped at executives, her focus shattered. By evening at the gala in a glittering ballroom, Penelope spotted her daughters laughing with their dates, Edward schmoozing donors. She felt like an imposter smiling through gritted teeth. Then a whisper from a colleague. "Heard about that room service girl, quite the talker." Panic surged. Had Layla spread rumors? No, it was paranoia. But the seed was planted, doubt festering. That night, Penelope confronted her reflection in the mirror, the lines of age mocking her. 52 and still hiding. What if I deserve more? She thought, the question a betrayal to her vows. She texted Layla back. "Coffee tomorrow." Neutral ground. It was a step into the unknown, one that could cost her dearly. As she drifted to sleep, visions of fallout plagued her. Divorce papers, tabloid headlines, daughters accusing eyes. Yet beneath the fear, a spark of hope flickered. Maybe, just maybe, authenticity was worth the price. The coffee shop in Greenwich Village buzzed with mid-morning energy, but Penelope felt isolated in her corner booth, her sunglasses a flimsy barrier against prying eyes. Layla arrived promptly, sliding into the seat opposite with a tentative smile. "I wasn't sure you'd show," she said, her voice carrying the weight of unspoken expectations. Penelope nodded, her mind a battlefield. "This is reckless. End it now." But aloud she said, "Tell me why me? Why push this?" Layla's eyes softened. "Because I see myself in you, the fear, the denial. I was engaged to a man once to please my family. It nearly broke me." The confession hung between them, pulling Penelope deeper into the web. As they talked, layers peeled away. Layla spoke of her journey. Fleeing home after her parents discovered her with a girlfriend, scraping by in hostels, finding solace in New York's queer scene. "It wasn't easy," she admitted. "But faking straightness was worse. The constant lying eroded my soul." Penelope listened, her own memories surfacing. Stolen kisses with Rebecca in dorm rooms, suppressed under parental pressure. "My father said success meant fitting in," she murmured. "Marry well, build the legacy." Layla challenged gently. "And what about your legacy to yourself?" The question stung, forcing Penelope to confront the void in her marriage. Edward was kind but distant. Their intimacy mechanical, devoid of passion. "I've given everything to them," she thought. "But what have I given me?" Their meetings became clandestine rituals. Coffee turning to walks in Central Park, where autumn leaves crunched underfoot, mirroring the crumbling of Penelope's resolve. Each encounter amplified the conflict. Joy in Layla's presence clashed with guilt over deception. One afternoon, as they sat on a bench, Layla's hand brushed Penelope's knee accidentally. Or was it? The touch sent shivers, awakening desires long dormant. "I can't," Penelope whispered, pulling away. "My daughters, they're planning weddings, careers. This would devastate them." Layla's face hardened. "Or free them from your hypocrisy. You're funding campaigns that hurt people like me." The accusation hit home. Edward's anti-gay marriage stance was political expediency, but Penelope's silence made her complicit. Back home the pressure mounted. Emily called excited. "Mom, Dad's poll numbers are up. Thanks to your networking." Penelope forced enthusiasm, but inside turmoil raged. Am I a monster for staying silent? That night, she argued with Edward over dinner, his casual dismissal of a colleague's coming out fueling her anger. "It's just business," he said. "We can't alienate the base." Penelope bit her tongue, but the resentment simmered. Layla's texts offered solace. "You're not alone." Yet each message risked exposure. What if Edward saw? The turning point came at a family brunch. Sophia, her youngest, announced her engagement to a conservative heir. "Mom, you'll walk me down the aisle with Dad, right?" The expectation crushed Penelope. In her mind she saw Layla's hopeful eyes, contrasting Sophia's trusting gaze. "I have to choose," she realized, the decision a knife's edge. That evening she met Layla in a dimly lit bar, confessing, "I think I'm falling for you, but it terrifies me." Layla's response was raw. "Then fight for us. Or let fear win." Their first real embrace was tentative, a hug laced with promise and peril. Penelope pulled back, tears stinging. "What if I lose everything?" Layla whispered. "What if you gain yourself?" Days blurred into secrecy. Penelope juggled boardrooms and stolen moments, her inner monologue a constant debate. "This is selfish. Think of the fallout." But Layla's stories of resilience inspired her, coming out to friends, rebuilding life. One night, over wine in Layla's modest apartment, they shared dreams. Penelope of travel without pretense, Layla of stability. "We could build that," Layla said. Penelope's heart ached. But at what cost? The moral quandary deepened. Was pursuing happiness betrayal or essential truth? Then disaster struck. A paparazzo snapped them leaving the apartment, the photo landing in Edward's inbox via an anonymous tip. He confronted her that night. "Who is she, Pen?" "An affair." The word hung heavy. Penelope's denial crumbled under his scrutiny. "It's more than that. I'm gay." The admission shattered the room's silence. Edward's face contorted in shock, then anger. "After all these years? Our life, it's a lie." Penelope's guilt surged. "I tried to be what you needed." But inwardly, relief mingled with pain. Finally, truth. The fallout was swift. Edward stormed out, calling his lawyer. Penelope sat alone, contemplating the price. Divorce, public scrutiny. Was it worth it? She wondered as Layla's call came through. "I'm here for you." The support was a lifeline, but the storm was just beginning. The divorce papers arrived like a death sentence, served coldly by Edward's attorney in the Hargrove boardroom. Penelope signed with a steady hand, but inside she was fracturing. "This is the cost of honesty. Losing the only world I've known." Edward's parting words echoed. "You'll regret this. Our daughters will never understand." He was right. Emily and Sophia's reactions were venomous. At a tense family meeting in their Hamptons estate, Emily exploded. "How could you do this to us? Dad's campaign is tanking because of your whatever this is." Sophia, tears streaming, added, "You're selfish, Mom. We looked up to you." Penelope's defense was weak. "I was living a lie. For you, for everyone." But their hurt cut deep, fueling her self-doubt. "Have I destroyed them for my own desires?" Layla became her anchor amid the chaos. They moved in together discreetly, in a Brooklyn loft far from Manhattan's glare. "We'll weather this," Layla assured, her optimism a bomb. But societal backlash intensified. Tabloids dubbed Penelope the fallen tycoon, speculating on her midlife crisis. Board members whispered, some calling for her resignation. "Is love worth the empire?" She pondered nightly, staring at the ceiling. Layla's presence soothed, their conversations delving into ethics. "Society judges us harshly because we're women-loving women," Layla said. "But fighting back is our power." Inspired, Penelope considered going public, but fear held her back. A pivotal confrontation came at a charity event. Edward attended with a new date, his eyes cold as he approached. "You've ruined us," he hissed. Penelope retorted. "No, the lies did." Nearby, a donor sneered. "Didn't peg you for that type." The humiliation burned, but Layla, waiting outside, reminded her. "Their ignorance isn't your burden." That night, Penelope's inner turmoil peaked. Am I right to upend lives for authenticity? Dreams haunted her, visions of a closeted life versus this painful freedom. Her daughter's estrangement deepened the wound. Emily blocked her calls, Sophia sent scathing emails. "You're not the mother I knew." Penelope's therapy sessions unpacked the guilt. "I raised them in a world of expectations. Now I'm the hypocrite." But glimmers of hope emerged. Layla introduced her to a support group, where stories of reconciliation inspired. "Time heals," one woman shared. Penelope clung to that, writing unsent letters to her girls. "I love you enough to be real." Then betrayal struck from an unexpected angle. Layla's ex, a jealous former lover named Mia, surfaced, leaking private texts to the press. Headlines screamed, "Millionaire's lesbian affair exposed, details inside." Penelope felt violated. How could she? Confronting Layla, tears flowed. "Mia hacked my old phone. I'm sorry, I should have been more careful." Trust wavered. Is this the price of vulnerability? They argued fiercely, Layla defending. "I've lost family too. Don't push me away." Penelope's decision loomed. Forgive or flee? Reconciliation came slowly. They attended couples counseling, unpacking insecurities. "I chose you over safety," Layla confessed. Penelope realized. "And I chose truth over facade." Strengthened, she faced the board, defending her position. "My personal life doesn't diminish my leadership." Some allies emerged, praising her courage. But losses mounted. Contracts canceled due to moral concerns. A turning point. Sophia reached out tentatively. "I saw your interview. It made me think." They met for coffee. Awkward but honest. "Why now, Mom?" Sophia asked. Penelope explained. "Because hiding was killing me." Tears bridged the gap. "I miss you." Emily remained distant, but seeds of healing were planted. As winter set in, Penelope reflected on the journey. Betrayals, damages, awakenings. Love demands sacrifice, she thought, holding Layla close. But questions lingered. Had she chosen rightly? Spring brought tentative renewal, but the scars of winter lingered. Penelope's business stabilized, thanks to progressive investors drawn to her authenticity. Yet personal battles raged. Emily's wedding approached and the invitation arrived, addressed only to Edward. The snub pierced. "My own daughter excludes me." Layla urged confrontation. "Fight for your place." Penelope drove to Emily's apartment unannounced, heart pounding. "Why shut me out?" she demanded. Emily's response was laced with pain. "Because you're not the mom who raised me. This lesbian thing changes everything." The word thing stung, revealing deep-seated bias. Penelope's inner voice screamed, "I am the same, just honest." They argued, tears flowing. "I supported anti-gay causes for Dad's sake. Now I see the harm." Emily softened slightly. "It's hard to reconcile." The meeting ended unresolved, but a crack appeared in the wall. Societal pressures amplified. At a networking event, old friends shunned her, whispering about moral decay. Penelope's resolve hardened. "Their judgment reflects their fears, not my worth." Layla faced her own demons. Her job at the hotel suffered from association, leading to demotion. "I won't let them break us," she vowed. Together they volunteered at LGBT centers, finding purpose in advocacy. "This is our fight," Layla said, inspiring Penelope to donate anonymously. But doubt crept. Am I using charity to assuage guilt? A moral crossroads emerged when Edward's campaign faltered. He called, desperate. "Retract your statements. For the girls." Penelope refused. "No more lies." The choice cost her. Sophia wavered in reconciliation, siding temporarily with Edward. "You're tearing us apart," she accused. Penelope's turmoil intensified. Is authenticity selfish if it hurts innocence? Nights were sleepless, weighing damages against growth. Then a shocking revelation. Mia, Layla's ex, contacted Penelope privately. "Layla's not who you think. She pursued you for your money." Proof. Forged emails. Penelope confronted Layla, rage boiling. "Is this true?" Layla denied vehemently. "Mia's lying to destroy us." Investigation revealed Mia's manipulation. Hacked accounts. Trust rebuilt, but the scare deepened their bond. "We've survived worse," Layla whispered. Empowered, Penelope went public fully, penning an op-ed. "My journey out of the closet at 52. Backlash was fierce. Hate mail, threats, but support poured in from unexpected quarters. A former colleague confessed. "You gave me courage." Her daughters read it, Sophia called. "I'm trying to understand." Emily remained silent, the divide a constant ache. As summer heated up, tensions peaked at a family mediation. Edward attended, bitter. "You've poisoned everything," Penelope countered. "No, secrets did." Revelations surfaced. Edward's own infidelities hidden for years. Hypocrisy exposed, he backed down. Emily broke. We all have flaws. Hugs followed, tentative healing beginning. Penelope reflected. The path was brutal but necessary. With Layla, they planned a quiet commitment ceremony, symbolizing triumph over adversity. Yet questions haunted. Had the pain been justified? Healing progressed unevenly, like a wound that scars but strengthens. Penelope's relationship with her daughters mended slowly. Weekly dinners became battlegrounds turned bridges. Emily admitted. I was scared of change. Sophia added. Seeing you happy. It's confusing but real. Penelope's heart swelled. Your acceptance means everything. But inwardly she questioned. Did my choices force their growth or burden them? Professionally, Hargrove Enterprises thrived under her renewed vision, incorporating inclusivity policies. Diversity is strength, she declared in speeches, drawing applause and criticism. Layla started a nonprofit for queer youth, Penelope funding it discreetly. We're making a difference, Layla beamed. Yet societal echoes persisted. Protests at events, online trolls. Is progress worth the fight? Penelope pondered. A final confrontation loomed. Edward's re-election bid. He approached for endorsement, pleading. For old times. Penelope refused. I won't compromise anymore. The decision alienated some allies, but solidified her integrity. Truth over politics, she affirmed. As the year closed, Penelope and Layla stood on their balcony, overlooking the city. We've paid dearly, Penelope said. Layla nodded. But gained more. Reflections flooded. Betrayals weathered. Awakenings embraced. The journey's toll, lost friends, fractured family, balanced against freedom's joy. In quiet moments, Penelope wondered about alternate paths. Staying closeted, preserving the facade. Would that have been kinder? But the vibrancy of her life now answered no. Still, the ethical gray lingered. Was Penelope right to pursue her truth, even if it shattered her family's world?